Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the language of business. Today we are diving into a filing about some executives getting a little something extra. It is almost like they knew something we did not. Stick around, you will not want to miss this. Mallinckrodt, the company we're talking about today, just filed a Form 8K. For those not familiar, this form is used to report major events that could be relevant to shareholders. Before we jump in, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate filings, make sure you are subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. So what's the story here? This filing is about changes to agreements with Mallinckrodt's executive officers and some of their directors. Specifically, it concerns something called restricted stock units, or RSUs. These are basically promises of company stock that vest or become fully owned over time. On May 14th, 2025, the company's board made some changes to the rules about when these RSUs become fully owned by the executives and directors. Usually these RSUs vest over a period of time, meaning you get a little bit each year as long as you stay with the company. However, Mallinckrodt decided to tweak the agreement. Here's where it gets interesting. The changes say that if an executive officer or a director leaves the company without a good reason from their side, or if the company fires them without a valid reason, they now get all their RSUs immediately. This is called accelerated vesting. It's like saying, even if things don't work out, you still get your full bonus in stock. Now, it's important to note that this change does not apply to Mr. Sigurdur O. Olafsson, the Chief Executive Officer. His agreement may be different, or he might have a separate arrangement. But for the other executives and directors, this accelerated vesting is now in effect. The company had previously mentioned this potential change in a filing with the SEC back in April. They talked about how these changes would affect executive compensation, specifically in a section of their proxy statement. It seems like they have now officially put those plans into action. So why does this matter? Well, it could mean a couple of things. On one hand, it could be a way for the company to protect its executives and directors. If there's a potential change in ownership or a major restructuring, these executives might feel more secure knowing they'll still get their stock. It could also be a way to attract and retain top talent. Knowing that you'll get your full stock award even if things go south can be a pretty good incentive to stick around or join the company. On the other hand, some might see this as a bit too generous. If an executive is fired for poor performance, should they really get all their stock options anyway? It's a question of fairness and whether this change truly aligns with the interests of shareholders. Now, let's zoom out and think about the big picture here. Mallinckrodt has been through some tough times in the past few years. They have faced lawsuits, financial difficulties, and even a bankruptcy. In fact, that S4 filling they mentioned earlier in the document is related to emerging from bankruptcy. So this change in RSU agreements could be part of their efforts to rebuild and move forward. Giving the executives more guaranteed stock could motivate them to turn the company around and increase its value. It could also be a way to stabilize the leadership team after all the challenges they've faced. But ultimately, it's up to the shareholders to decide whether this is a smart move or an overpayment to executives. Looking at the document in the wider sense, it reveals a company in transition. These changes in executive compensation signal a desire for stability and perhaps an effort to incentivize strong performance. However, they also carry a risk of rewarding executives, even if the company's performance does not meet expectations. Ultimately, the success of this strategy will depend on whether it truly aligns the interests of management with those of shareholders. Will depend on whether it truly aligns the interests of management with those of shareholders. What's your take on these executive perks and what they might signal for the future of Mallinckrodt? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate filings. And do not forget to join the Discord in the description to talk to like-minded people. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.